What is going on, everyone? It's your boy B, Skeletor BSK, coming at you from the style of gaming. Curious if this action strategy title is for you? Wondering if you can jump in as a newcomer? Whatever reason you are here, this is Should You Buy in 5, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses released July 26, 2019 exclusively to Nintendo Switch. I'm late on this one, but I don't get early copies, and this game is freaking stacked with content, you guys. I still haven't beaten the game, but I'm a few chapters from completion, 50 so hours in, and I have seen enough to definitely recommend this title. Three Houses follows the story of a young man or woman named Byleth, the child of the mercenary Gerald. Confronted by bandits, we meet a small band of students from the Garrick Mach Officers Academy. During battle, a pivotal moment happens where Byleth is killed, awakening a spirit from inside the character named Sothis with the ability to turn back time. After turning back time and dispatching the units, we are introduced to the students and the Order of Knights known as the Knights of Seiros. Geralt and Byleth are invited back to the monastery where we learn some obscure backstory, and Geralt is reinstated as a knight, and your character is mysteriously dubbed a professor by the priestess leader, Rhea, the speaker and militant leader of the Swords of the Church of Seiros. As a new professor, you command one of the three households of students training to be military officers: the Golden Deer House, led by Claude, Black Eagles, led by Edelgard, and the Blue Lions, led by Dimitri. A Dark Bishop is revealed as an insurgent in the monastery attempting to kill Rhea. From this point on, the story leads down an expansive narrative arc that really makes each house unique, but if I go into that, it will actually spoil the story. But I can tell you the story is sick. There are many twists and turns with mystery looming everywhere. Choices can be made that affect the future of all gameplay options. Some of the writing is very kitschy, and the character arc progression can be confusing and empty, but if you're a huge anime fan, the tropes and character frameworks are going to feel very familiar, and ultimately, their individual stories have emotional and satisfying payouts. The story here is wonderful, regardless of the path that you walk. Gameplay can be broken down into four major themes. As a professor, you split your time between exploring the monastery, teaching the students, including yourself, combat drills, and monthly missions. You start each month and have complete control of the first three milestones, meaning you can do combat whenever, but it's definitely advisable to always explore at the beginning of the month because there are mini activities, conversations, and teachings that will influence your team for the rest of the month. Motivation is the key to teaching your students at the top of each week, so make sure you feed them, give them gifts, return lost items, etc. The monastery exploration is also the zone where you can recruit other team members from other houses. So make sure you scout some people that you're impressed with. Always go for Lysithea.
My God.
This game requires a lot of internal research to know what's best for each member and how that influences the team. Combat is a blast and follows an over-the-top map for tactics and strategy. Choose your weapons and magic wielders wisely as such. Choosing your difficulty has multiple influences on combat, the most prevalent being in classic mode that results in the unit permadeath, so choose wisely based upon your comfortability and skill. But tactics are key to success in addition to developing your students' relationship to aid each other in combat. The first time that you're introduced to the activities seems overwhelming, but the game quickly falls into repetition and oftentimes redundancy. You'll be doing these activities 100 times with little alteration until you hit the downhill of the first climax into part 2. Fire Emblem by no standard looks bad, but it certainly doesn't look the best. The combat scenarios are awesome, and the effects that are present do a good job at the visualization that they're attempting to bring. There is no shortage of particles and whimsical flurries and animations to keep you focused, especially when you change your students' classes up and their uniforms subsequently change. But at the end of the day, it's the 3D, 2D anime cutscenes that steal the show and really excite me. I've said continuously in stream I wish there was the Three Houses anime. As you progress in the game, the music and the combat begins to change and the score changes are amazing. Wavering between chaos to somber revelations, the music hits the mark in every cutscene, almost every scenario. The voice cast in this game is impeccable with a large range of notable characters and a surprising amount of voice lines, even from your stoic protagonist. One of the small things that bothered me was the fact that there is very little visual change around the monastery. The narrator will present you with changing seasons, talking about winter and such, yet it's sunny and beautiful throughout the monastery, so that's kind of lame, but on top of the fact that your units will always have their base look in the monastery, they will only have their armor on when you're actually in combat, so it's small, but it's worth noting in my mind. All in all, Fire Emblem Three Houses is loaded with activities and objectives. There's always something vying for your time. You can sit back and enjoy the slice of life the characters offer, or you can be an expert professor leveling and training yourself and your students in the throes of combat. Difficulty is always something to consider, but you will always have New Game Plus to change decisions or even select a new house. The story elements are rife with mystery and thrills, while also remaining light and fun. The game has a deeply emotional tone and one that seeks to allow the player as much empathy or strife as you see fit. I can't say enough about this game. While repetition will set in, the game does a good job of spicing things up and offering new measures for you to take with your team. From the get-go of this review, I recommended this game, and I suggest it even further as we finish. Dive in before the insane month of September consumes your time with games. This game should not fall off your radar, and it sits as one of the best Switch titles of 2019 and potentially to date.